Hi buddies, hope you're doing fine. In this series, we are going to talk about the important questions from the American literature. If you are ready, let's get started. 401 onwards. Toni Morrison received Pulitzer Prize for novel Beloved. Paul Bowles is a writer and a composer. Paul Bowles' The Sheltering Sky was written in the year 1949. Ray is an American science fiction writer. Bradbury's collection of short stories is called The Mortain Chronicles. What is means by Fahrenheit 451, a novel written by Ray Bradbury. Name the writer who influenced Cooper and Poe. Charles Brogden Brown. Charles Brogden Brown's Jane Talbot was published in the year 1801. Charles Brogden Brown's Arthur Marion P.T. II was published in the year 1800. William Burroughs' Junkie was written in the year 1953. What is the major poem written by Hart Crane? The Pride. How many years did Hart Crane take to complete his epic, The Bridge? 7 years. Why did Mark Crane commit suicide? Finding the critics hostile to him, drown himself in the Caribbean Sea. Who is the author of Vistas in Review? C. Nadine Carey. Who is the author of Rhythms of Time and On Wings of Song? C. Nadine Carey. Mention the outstanding work of Isaacin Caldwell, Tobacco Road, written in the year 1932. Willa Cather was an American novelist and short story writer. Death Comes for the Archbishop is a novel written by Willa Cather. Raymond Chandler's famous work is The Big Sheep. Name of the hero who created by Fenimore Cooper, Natty Bumppo. Natty Bumppo was the hero in Cooper's 5 novels. Natty Bumppo's Pioneers was published in the year 1823. Natty Bumppo's The Deer Slayer was published in the year 1841. Natty Bumppo's The Pricey was published in the year 1827. Mention Natty Bumppo's early novels of social criticism, Homeward Bound and Home As Found. Bumppo's The Monkins was published in the year 1835. Name the first book written by Edward Estienne Cummings. The Enormous Room. What is the theme of the book? The Enormous Room. E. E. Cummings' personal experience in French. E. E. Cummings' Tulips and Chimneys was published in the year 1923. E. E. Cummings' Excel I Poems was published in the year 1925. E. E. Cummings' No Thanks was published in the year 1935. E. E. Cummings' 50 Poems was published in the year 1940. How many years did Emily Dickinson lead a secluded life? 25 years. When Dickinson was alive, she wrote more than 1,000 lyrics. Only 6 of Dickinson's poems were published during her lifetime. After Dickinson's death, her poems were published in a number of volumes. Success is counted sweetest by who those never succeed to comprehend a nectar requires sorest need. These lines are taken from Success is counted sweetest. Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. The carriage held but just ourselves and immorality. These lines are taken from The Chariot. How much can come and much can go and yet abide the world. These lines are taken from There Came a Wind. Parting is all we know of heaven and all we need of hell. These lines are taken from Parting. Who made this comment? A damn mob scribbling women. Hawthorne. The Wide Wide World was written by Susan Warner. The Lamplighter was written by Maria Cummins. Ruth Howe was written by Fanny Fern. Rose in Bloom was written by Louisa Alcott. The Hidden Hand was written by Mrs. Southworth. What is the theme of Theodore Dreiser's novels? Successful men represented the life of many lovers. In which novel did Theodore Dreiser present spiritual values? The Boardwalk. An American Tragedy was written by Theodore Dreiser. Tragic America was written by Theodore Dreiser. Theodore Dreiser also wrote plays, essays, poems, and letters. Many American critics and others regard T.S. Eliot as an American writer. Matheson gives a comparison and contrast between Eliot and Frost regarding them both as an American poets. Which novel won Ellison National Book Award? Invisible Man. Charlotte Temple was written by Mrs. Rawson. The Emigrants was written by Gilbert Imlay. The Chain Bearer was written by Fenimore Cooper. The Conquest was written by Mrs. Foster. Which novel contains Gothic element in it? Julia and the Eliminated Baron. What is the speciality of the novel? Female quixotism. It presents burlesque of the Gothic tradition. Who is known as the Sage of Concord? Emerson. Why is Emerson cast as Sage of Concord. Emerson lived settled in Concord. Emerson's theory of transcendentalism was shown in his most famous book, Nature. When was Nature published? 1836. Name the organ of the transcendentalist philosophy. Die. Nature is known as the manifesto or the Bible of the American transcendentalism. What is the meaning of nature? Anything and everything which is not soul. What does nature symbolize? Divine spirit, man's inner self. The second series of essay titled Nature appeared in the year 1844. Explain the term Phi Beta Kappa Society. It was a social cum literary society. Who called this speech our intellectual declaration of independence? Oliver Wendell Holmes. The essay Friendship was written by Emerson. The essay History was written by Emerson. The Oversoul was written by Emerson. Emerson is an orator, an essayist, and a poet. Faulkner is known as one of the most significant modern American novelists. Faulkner's Mosquitoes was published in the year 1927. Faulkner's Rivers was published in the year 1962. Faulkner's Hamlet was published in the year 1940. Which novel won him the Pulitzer Prize for the first time? A Fable. Which novel won Faulkner the Pulitzer Prize for the second time? The Rivers. Faulkner received Nobel Prize for Literature in the year 1950. Franklin was a statesman, rights, and ambassador. Franklin advocated the cause of colonists. Busybody Papers was written by Franklin. Junto Club was written by Franklin. What is the title given to Frost's first volume of poems? A Boy's Will. What is the title given to Frost's second volume of poems? North of Boston. When Frost lived in Beaconsfield, England, most of his friends were Georgian poets. Frost's poem Mountain Interval was published in the year 1916. Frost is the poet laureateship of New England. The figure of poem makes is a kind of preface to Frost's collected poems. Frost gave his comments on a poem in his The Figure a Poem Makes, who invited Frost to recite his patriotic poem The Gift outright. President John F. Kennedy. What is the theme of Frost's poem Mending Wall? Good fences make good neighbors. Where was Robert Frost born? San Francisco. When was Frost's first poem My Butterfly published? 1894. Who was the editor of the Dial? Margaret Fuller. Who is the editor of the Dial from 1840 to 42? Margaret Fuller. Margaret Fuller was a great champion of the women's rights. That's all about this video. If you need more like this, do comment. Thank you so much for watching this video till end. If you're having any suggestion, let me know in the comment section. We'll see you next video. Tada, bye bye.